We now have a 4-horse race out in the Championship as both Swansea and Brentford lose to open up the door for the likes of Watford. But what's going to happen this midweek? We'll take a little look at the latest round of picks. Of course, yours next. Show today. We're taking a look at match number 32 out of the Championship, and we'll get to that in just one second. If you're new to the channel, I say, where the heck have you been, boys? Smash your subscribe button to keep you bang up to date. All things Championship related, World Football related, Blackburn Rovers related. We're all here under one roof. Of course, that's just the tip of the top, of course. But of course, Rovers losing 4 on the bounce. Of course, Cardiff making ground, and of course, Woodgate, of course, now being appointed as manager till the end of the season for Bournemouth. We've got a whole host of stuff going on in the Championship. But of course, before we talk all about that one, big shout out to the bloody Patreons. That's right. What am I talking about? I'm talking about patrons because of the past couple of days, and in fact the past week, we've got 2 new Patreons, or should I say 1 returning patron, and of course a second patron. Of course, what am I talking about? Talking about this, boys and girls. People went right here to the patreon.com/Roverseas and put their faith behind this mad bastard right here. Of course, Tom Beresford did come back, so a big shout out to you, sir, for joining the VIP Band of Brothers. Of course, Alan MC, I said, you know me, I said Alan MC also joined the illustrious Band of Brothers as well. So what they did, they went over here, they decided to pick which level they wanted to join, and of course they got access to all this content, plus the Prediction League data, and plus much more than that. Of course, we're trying to work on the content behind the scenes here, but it's been a little bit busy this season with, of course, the details that go into the Prediction League. So hopefully once that winds down, we can try and free up a bit more time to put more stuff into this. But anyway, big shout out to you guys. If anyone else wants to join that illustrious Band of Brothers, check out the link down below, or you can just have a look at it right up here, patreon.com/Roverseas. But we're going to talk about, of course, right here, right now, the games that did take place this weekend. Then we're going to take a look at the games that take place at this midweek, and of course we'll be back again later on in the week for, of course, the next weekend's matches. So here we bloody go, another shit show for Rovers though. Of course, Watford beat Wayne Rooney FC, Derby County 2-1 win in the end. João Pedro on the score, Will Hughes as well. William Troost and Kong with a big fat OG giving Derby some hope, but unfortunately not good enough. 2-1 for them, 1-1 for me, not too shabby. Of course, Coventry, what a result they did. 2-0 win over Brentford. Tyler Walker with a couple of goals there, giving themselves some hope as well, climbing the table. Of course, stumping Brentford in their tracks. 2-0 win for Coventry, big win for them. 2-1 for me going the other way. Bristol City lost to Barnsley. Of course, just keep on keeping on. But Barnsley's goals coming from, of course, Carlton Morris. I think it's his 4th goal in a row or something like that. 1-1 for me, not too good enough for Bristol City. Barnsley are the dark horses. Keep an eye on them. Next, of course, Cardiff City are back in the mix as well for the top 6, and they're comfortably doing so as well. 4-0 win over Preston. Kiefer Moore, Mark Harris, Marlon Pack, Josh Murphy on the score sheet for Cardiff as a comfortable win over Preston North End. Millwall could only muster a draw against Wycombe, 0-0 in the end. Actually went with the 2-1 win for Millwall. Shame on me. Reading starting to stutter as well a little bit. 2-0 win for Middlesbrough. Mark Bowler and Ashley Fletcher with a couple of quick fire goals, giving them the win. Actually went with a 1-1 draw myself. Huddersfield, another shocker there. 4-1 win over Swansea. Goodness gracious me. Fraser Campbell, Lewis O'Brien, Dwayne Holmes with a couple of goals there. Connor Hoonahane on the score sheet for Swansea, but too little too late. Actually went with a 2-0 win for Swansea. Shame on me. Norwich, of course, keep up the heat. Of course, 1-0 win over, just a 1-0 win over Rotherham. Just enough over the line, giving them the win. Timo Pukki on the score sheet, giving themselves some hope. Of course, this one is a shit show. We're going to skip that one. Just the one go. Mighty on the score sheet. I actually went with a 2-1 win myself against Rovers, because that's the way I am thinking right now. QPR, of course, flashing, of course, their form card as well. 2-1 winners over Bournemouth. Stefan Johansson, Todd Kane, ex-Rover on the score sheet, Shane Long on the score sheet for Bournemouth, but too late for them. Meanwhile, Sheffield Wednesday, they lost to Birmingham. Goodness gracious me. Birmingham saved the day. Scott Hogan on the score sheet. Liam Shaw got himself sent off. Of course, he's on his way to Celtic. And Stoke City being winners over Luton Town in the Nathan Jones-Jarby 3-0 win for Stoke as well. They're getting them season back on track. So Nick Power with the brace. Stephen Fletcher on the score sheet as well. As you can see, I got myself 4, which is pretty shit. The table looks like this, I believe. Yes, it does. Of course, Norwich lead the charge by 6 points clear over Brentford. They were level on points with Watford. Goal difference separate 2 sides. Score Swansea just 1 point adrift as well. Who have 2 games in hand though. It's anybody's guess. It's anybody's guess. I think it's a nice competition right there. It's a nice little group if you want to look at it like that. I think that's it now. I think those 4 teams will be duking it out for those top 2 spots. I think Reading, Bournemouth, and then the chasing pack. I'm probably going down to 11th right now. I'm not putting Rovers in that bracket either. Forget about it. We are 5 points. Well, whatever. We're very close to the drop zone, and we need to turn the things around. We've got more defeats than wins. Who's got more defeats than wins up above us? Absolutely nobody. Nobody. Anyway, take a look at, of course, your picks. Of course, not 4, you're in the Shitface gang like me. 5 to 9, Shitface Club. Not like me. 10 plus, you're in the Tip-Tap-Tup Club. I don't think there's any of those. Damien Evans, you did okay. Vincent Hung did bits. Shane O'Donnell, well done to you, brother. Of course, Lee 2021 also did bits. Alex Weather did shite like me. Tom Stainer did good. Well done to you. Ultra Omri also did shit just like me. Iron Stringer did okay. Okay, didn't do okay. Yannick Buster did poop. And Olaji Ojo also had a nightmare. That's okay, though. James B. CFC, you aren't so great this time around. Jamie Gold also did good. Game Chai did poop. Russell Frost also had a nightmare. Of course, Roberto Hollis also did good, though. Nathan Eva, absolute shit show. Joachim Jakobsen also did good. Omar Esquivel, you had a... that was Joachim. This was for Omar. You did shit. And Shepard also did very, very well indeed. Let's take a look at the table as it stands. If your name is Ultra Over Murat, James BCFC, are great. Omar Esquivel or Nathan Eva, just close your bloody eyes. If your name's Shepard, though, or Vincent Hung, take a bloody bow, my friends. Look at that. Of course, kicking ass and taking names out in match day number 31 the championship. What's that done to the overall table? We'll take a little look at it right here, right now. Then, pals. It's Shane O'Donnell kicking ass and taking names. Still, what did he do this week? He got himself 5. The likes of Gaming Charlie. He's also got himself 4. Russell Frost 4. So Shane O'Donnell climbing away, breaking away from the chasing pack. Vincent Hung also into the hunt as well. Big week for him. Shepard's got a whole work to do if he's going to get into that top 5, if not more than that. Of course, we'll take a look at these random matches, of course, and then, of course, we'll have another week of games coming at you. Of course, look at this one. Look at this problem one. We'll have, of course, a watch along for this one, so make sure you come by for that. But let's get into it. Of course, take a look at the next round of matches. We're kicking it all off with, of course, Birmingham taking, of course, the Canaries. Let's take a look at this one then, shall we? Of course, played each other the last 6, 5 wins for Norwich, nothing for Birmingham, and 1 draw. Last time around at St Andrews was in fact a draw, a 2-2 draw in the end. Jackson McComer on the score sheet, Viv Solomon Atobor on the score sheet, Ona Hernandez with the brace. Of course, picture this season at Carrows, a 1-0 win forward. Norwich, of course, Mario Velacanic on the score sheet, and Clayton got himself sent off. Birmingham losing their last 7 last 8 home matches in the championship, and they're also failing to score in 5 of the last 7 as well. Keeping a clean sheet though, that's Norwich, 5 of the last 7 matches as well. Coming into this winning 3 on the spin, beating Stoke, beating Coventry, and of course beating Rotherham. As for Birmingham, coming into just 1 win the past 6 games, keeping Karanka in his job. Look at the bookies odds on this one. It's 15-4, but for Birmingham 23-13 is your Norwich, 14-5 is your draw. Of course, Norwich are flying high at the top of the table. Of course, the win for them, they could open up a a 10-point cushion over the chasing pack. As for Birmingham, though, 21st spot, but a win for them, they could also go as high as 19th in the table. Maybe getting out of that relegation conversation as well. For me, though, going to go with a 2-1 win for Norwich to keep themselves moving on. And of course, put Birmingham back in trouble. Next, of course, we have Wayne Rooney FC taking, of course, Huddersfield Town with a big win just midweek, or last week, of course. Anyway, played each other the last 6, 2 wins apiece and 2 draws last round. At Pride Park was a 1-1 draw back in February 2020. Harry Tofollow on the score sheet for Huddersfield. Tom Lawrence on the score sheet for Derby, of course. They did play each other this season at the John Smith's Kirklees Stadium. Was a 1-0 win for Huddersfield. That was back in October, of course. Junior Bakuna on the score sheet giving them the win. Heading into this, though, Huddersfield have actually failed to win the last 10 matches away from home, whereas Derby have actually won the last 3 at the Pride Park. Of course, winning 4 of the past 6, losing to Rotherham, also losing to Watford just the other day. Just 1 win the past 6 games for Huddersfield. That was, though, a big one against Swansea as well. Look at the bookies odds on this one then, shall we? Of course, Huddersfield 14-5 for the victory, 21-20 is your host. They are your favourites. That's Derby. 9-4 is your draw. Of course, Derby coming out and in 19th at the moment, but a win for them. They could also go as high as 16th. Huddersfield are in 18th, and win for them. They could also go as high as 12th in the table. Goodness gracious me. I've gone with a 2-0 win for Derby. They'll keep on keeping on at home, and of course, another win in the bag. This, of course, Middlesbrough up against Bristol City. Of course, no new manager yet, I don't think, for Bristol City. As of recording anyway, played the last 6, 3 for Middlesbrough, 2 for Bristol City, and 1 draw last round. At the Riverside was a 3-1 win for Bristol City back in July 2020. In lockdown, Naki Wells with a couple of goals there. Jamie Patterson as well. Bristol Malonga got the 1 goal for Huddersfield, but it was too little, too late. They did play each other this season at Thrashton Gate. It was a 1-0 win for Middlesbrough. Of course, back in October, George Saville on the score sheet giving them the win. Bristol City have actually lost their last 7 away matches in the Championship. They also failed to score the last 4 as well. Heading into this, back-to-back wins for Middlesbrough, beating Huddersfield, beating Reading as well. Meanwhile, 6 defeats on the spin. I wish we were playing Bristol City right here, right now, on the row. So Bristol City look in absolute disarray. Look at the bookies. The odds on this one, Middlesbrough will be 6-4 on for the victory. 4-1 is your Bristol City. 11-4 is your draw. Of course, Bristol City down in 15th for the moment, but a win for them. They could also go as high as 11th. Middlesbrough in 8th. A win for them. They could go top 6, boys. Top bloody 6 in the end. They'll get the win. They'll move potentially within top 6 depending on what goes on elsewhere. In fact, they probably will be in top 6 depending on what goes on. I think they will be. They'll move into top 6. So they've got better goal difference. Oh, what? They don't. They do not. No, they will not. They will just be on the cusps. Anyway, kicking off further, Luton Town up against Millwall, of course. Let's take a look at this one then, shall we? Of course, played each other the last 6, 4 for Millwall, nothing for Luton, and 2 draws last time around at the Kenilworth Road back in October 2019. 1-1 draw. Callum McManaman on the score sheet. Tom Bradshaw as well for Millwall. Millwall undefeated in the last 8 matches. They're also undefeated in the last 8 matches against Luton in all competitions. Heading into this, though, Luton just 1 win in the past 6. That 1 win against Birmingham. Meanwhile, Millwall unbeaten in the last 6 as well, picking up 3 wins and 3 draws to boot. Look at the bookies odds on this one. Luton 64 for the victory, 95 is your Millwall. 2-1 is your draw on this one. Luton coming at you, and 16 for the win for them. They could go 12th. As for Millwall, they're in 11th. The win for them, they could go as high as 9th in the table and then get themselves right back in the old playoff hunt as well. Tough one this one, but they're going to go with the 1-0 win for Luton at home. Usually they're quite a sticky wicket. I think they're going to break the hoodoo against Millwall. Next, of course, Rotherham up against Nottingham Forest. Of course, played each other the last 6. 1 win for Rotherham, 2 for Forest, and 3 draws. That's around. Rotherham was a 2-1 win for Rotherham back in April 2019. Michael Smith, Michael Ikebiki on the score sheet. Lewis Grabban get the goal as well. Of course, the picture of this is at the City Grounds, a 1-1 draw. Daniel Barsala with a big fat penalty for Rotherham. Sammy Obi with a late equaliser for Nottingham, giving them the win, the draw. Meanwhile, Forest have actually undefeated in 21 of the last 23 matches against Rotherham in all competitions, though. But Rotherham are undefeated in 10. Their last 10 home matches against Nottingham Forest in all comps. Heading into this, though, 3 defeats on spin for Rotherham, not looking good. Just 1 defeat the past 6 games for Forest. That was against Swansea. Of course, look at the bookies odds on this one then, shall we? Of course, Rotherham coming at you out in 7-4 for the victory. 8-5 is your Forest on this one. Forest coming at you in 17th for the win for them. They could go as high as 12th, whereas Rotherham are down into the relegation spots, but a win for them. They could go above Birmingham with the win on this one. What do I think on this one? Of course, backs against the wall. I think it'll be a 2-2 draw in the end. Wycombe Wanderers up against Reading. Let's take a look at this one then, shall we? Of course, played each other the last 6. Nothing but Wycombe, 5 for Reading, 1 draw. Last round, Wycombe was a 1-1 draw back in the Cardiff Cup. Of course, back in August 2019, it was a 1-1 draw. And it was actually Reading coming through on penalties or something like that back in August last year. Or last season, should I say. Of course, the picture of this season, Majasi was a 1-0 win for Reading. Lucas Jow on the score sheet in the 63rd minute win. Wycombe have actually failed to win 18 last 20 matches out in the Championship, whereas Reading have actually kicked in 5 of the last 7 away matches as well. Coming into this, just 1 win though of the past 6 games for Wycombe, just 1 win in the past 5 for Reading. Of course, that 1 win is against Bristol City, of course. Look at the odds on this one then, shall we? Wycombe 30-5 for the victory, 2019 on is your Reading, 12-5 is your draw. Of course, Wycombe coming at you, route to the foot table, but a win for them, they could close it in on Sheffield Wednesday. Of course, Reading are 5th. A win for them, they could move it in onto 4th, close in on them anyway. I think they'll get the win though, Reading with a 1-0 win. I'm not impressed by them at all, and I think they will drop out of that top 6 eventually. They are just proving stubborn at the moment. 1-0 win for them, getting back to winning ways, of course. Next, of course, for Barnsley up against Stoke. Of course, Barnsley flying high, so are Stoke. Picture of the last 6, 1 win for Barnsley, 2 for Stoke, 3 draws. That's the round. At the Oakwell was a 4-2 win for Stoke back in November 2019. Sam Klukas with the brace, Lee Gregory and Joe Allen on the score sheet, Cameron McGeehan and Patrick Schmidt on the score sheet for Barnsley. They did play each other this season and the bet 365, so a 2-2 draw. Tyrese Campbell, Tommy Smith on the score sheet for Stoke, Elliot Simos and Dominic Fraser on the score sheet for Barnsley. And also Nathan Collins got himself sent off. Barnsley winning their last 3 matches in the Championship, where Stoke have actually failed to win their last 7 on the road. Of course, heading into this, just 1 defeat the past 5 for Stoke. Their 1 defeat was against Norwich. Meanwhile, just 1 defeat the past 6 games for Barnsley against Chelsea, of course, in the FA Cup. Got no odds on this one, but of course, heading into this, Barnsley are 10th. A win for them, they could close it in on 7th. Stoke are in 9th. A win for them, they could also close in on 7th as well. I'm going to go with Barnsley again to keep up the heat. Of course, another win, and they move their bloody chains. Next, of course, we have Brentford up against Sheffield Wednesday. Of course, Brentford, of course, played each other the last 6 2 sides. 4 wins for Brentford, 2 for Sheffield Wednesday, no draws. That's right. And Brentford was a 5-0 win for Brentford. Josh De Silva with the brace, Ryan Mbembo, Tariq Fonsu, Henry, Emmanuel William Makundas on the score sheet for Brentford. Meanwhile, the played each other at Hillsborough back in October. It was a 2-1 win for Brentford. Tony with a couple of goals there. Patterson as well for the Sheffield Wednesday. Brentford have actually lost their last 3 matches in the Championship, where Sheffield Wednesday have actually failed to win 11 last 12 matches on the road. Heading into this, though, like I said, 3 defeats on the spin for Brentford, losing to Barnsley, losing to QPR, and losing to Coventry. Whereas just 1 win the past 4 games for Sheffield Wednesday. That was against Wycombe a couple of games back. Meanwhile, look at the bookies odds on this one. Of course, Sheffield Wednesday coming at you, 6-1 for the victory, 9-4 on is your Brentford. Of course, 10-3 is your draw. Brentford coming at you, and second win for them, they could close it on 1st. After Sheffield Wednesday, then 23rd, a win for them, they could also go as high as 21st and maybe move Birmingham into the drop zone. They ain't going to win though. Brentford will take this one with a 2-0 win quite comfortably in the end. Swansea up against Coventry, of course, played each other the last 6, 3 for Swansea, nothing for Coventry, 3 draws. Last round in Wales, of course, was a 2-1 win for Swansea back in September 2010. Darren Pratley on score sheet, Scott Sinclair as well. Goodness gracious me, Ben Turner flashback, of course. They did play each other this season though. Coventry was a 1-1 draw. Jordan Shipley on score sheet, Andre Ayew as well. Heading into this, Swansea undefeated in the last 12 home matches in the Championship. Coming into this, just 1 win the past 3 for them. That 1 win was against Nottingham Forest. Meanwhile, 1 win the past 6 for Coventry. That was against Brentford, of course, the other day. Maybe they can take a scalp out of these guys as well. Heading into this, the bookies odds, 65 on for Swansea, 10-3 is your draw, 5-2 is, of course, 5-2 is your draw. What is it for Coventry on this one? Coventry is 10-3. Of course, Coventry down into 20th at the moment. They're not out of the relegation mire just yet, but a win for them, they could also go as high as 16th. Whereas Swansea are in 4th. A win for them, they could go 2nd in the table. I think Swansea will get this one with a 3-0 win, get back to winning ways, and of course, move the chains. Of course, Bournemouth up against Cardiff. Of course, Bournemouth with, of course, Woodgate at the helm to the end of the season. Played up against informed Cardiff, played each other 6 times in the last 6, 2 wins apiece and 2 draws last around. At Bournemouth was back in 2018 in the Premier League. Ryan Fraser, Callum Wilson on the score sheet. They also played each other this season over in Cardiff. It was a 1-1 draw in the end. Harry Wilson, Dominic Solanke on the score sheet as well, as opposed to a split right down the middle. Cardiff are winning their last 5 matches in the Championship, also scoring these 2 goals in the last 5 as well. Looking very, very good. Unbeaten in the last 6 if you want to open up the focus a little bit. Just 1 defeat at the past 5 for Bournemouth. That was against QPR just the other day. Look at the biggest odds on this one then coming at you. Bournemouth 21-20 for the victory. 5-2 is your draw. 23-10. 5-2 is your away win. 23-10 is your bloody draw. Of course, QPR. We're not talking about QPR. We're talking about Bournemouth. They're coming into this in 6th. Win for them. They could close in. They could actually go as high as 5th. Cardiff are 7th. Win for them. They could also leapfrog Bournemouth in the end. Tight, airtight. Go on the 2-2 draw. Count separate 2 sides. Next, of course, we have the game of the weekend or game of the midweek. Of course, Rovers against Watford. Played each other the last 6. 1 win for Rovers, 3 for Watford, 2 draws last round. At Ewood Park was a 2-2 draw back in the Championship. Of course, 2014. Vidra, Tozer on the score sheet with Gusted. Tunnicliffe on the score sheet for Rovers. Goodness gracious me, that was a couple of flashbacks there. They did play each other this season at Watford as a 3-1 win in a game we played well. Brentford on the score sheet, João Pedro, Tom Cleverley and Darrell Lennon with a big fat OG. Heading into this, though, Rovers were losing the last 4. Watford keeping a clean sheet in the last 3. And they've also won the last 3, of course. Rovers, clueless at the moment. I can't see anything positive to say about them at the moment. Meanwhile, just 1 win, 1 defeat for Watford for the past 6. Of course, winning 3 on the spin as well. The bookies odds on this one, 2-1 for Blackburn, 7-5 is your Watford, 11-5 is your draw. So Watford are your favourites coming at this one. Of course, in 3rd, win for them, they could go 2nd. As for Rovers, we're down into 12th. A win for us. Whatever. I've gone with a defeat on this one again for Rovers to make it 5 on the spin, and maybe, just maybe, I'm not saying that's not what I want. I don't want to go. I would love to win this game. I'd love to win this game because, of course, after this is Coventry. That's a non-winnable game. We can start a run go and do our own Cardiff, do our own QPR, do our own Watford, do our own something, Barnsley, and just start moving the bloody chains. Everybody has blips in the season. We are down there with Bristol City and, of course, Rotherham and probably even Preston with really, really shit form at the moment. So we need to change it and change the record, and hopefully it's this one. I just don't see it at the moment. Of course, Watford are bloody 3rd. All the other pickers today will probably go this way as well. And wrap it up. I mean, Preston off end against QP bloody R. Played each other in the last 6, 4 for Preston, 2 for QPR, no draws. Last round at Deepdale, that was a 3-1 win for QPR. Grant Hole, Ryan Manning, and Ibi Che easy on the score sheet with Daniel Johnson with a penalty spot for Preston off end. Jeff Cameron got himself sent off though, but they still bloody won. Of course, they played each other this season at Loftus Road, a 2-0 win for Preston. Of course, Daniel Johnson again from the penalty spot, Scott Sinclair as well. QPR though winning 6 of the last 7 matches in the Championship and also looking very, very good at the moment. Their only blip was against Derby, 1-0 loss at Loftus Road. Meanwhile, Preston just 1 win in the past 6. That was, of course, against Rovers. Of course, look at the bookies odds on this one. 30-8 for Preston, 8-5 is your QPR, 9-4 is your draw. QPR in 13th for the moment. Win for them, they could go 11th. Preston down into 14th for the moment, and also win for them, they could also go as high as 11th on this one. Tough one, this one. 2-2 draw for me, but a lot of goals in it. And if I'm right, which I bloody well hope so, this is what the table would look like at the bloody end of it, of course. Norwich will be top of the pops, of course. 67 points at the moment. Of course, Brentford will be in 2nd. Of course, Watford 3rd. Swansea 4th. It's pretty much as you were. Reading and Bournemouth remain there. But, of course, Barnsley, Middlesbrough, and Cardiff will move into touching distance. And of course, Rovers dropping closer towards the drop. Wycombe, Rotherham, Birmingham going down as it stands. Of course, be sure to get your picks in nice and early for this. And we'll do it all again midweek, of course, for the next round of matches, which will take place on the weekend. That's it, my friends. Be sure to give the video some love and smash your thumbs up. Smash your subscribe. We'll keep you bang up to date with all things Championship related, Blackburn Rovers related. Whoa, football related, we can do here under one roof. Also, check out the links down below. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Facebook. And again, if you want to support the channel in another way, you could become the latest member of the Patreon gang. So make sure to check out that link down below. Until then, though, I'll see you all next time. Until then, I'm out.